applause. Very exclusive. I love them all. It's so hard to pick just. It's like trying to pick a child, a favorite child.
I also believe that everybody is special. That's the thing. It's discovering what makes you special and different from everybody else.
So,
whoa, that's $8 to $10 million a month.
it was more than that. It was a lot of money. And, we had a lot of perks. And I had over 300 gas stations that I operated.
Hello, Tom Levecchia here, and I'm just doing a quick intro, which I've never done before, but I want to do a special introduction to this particular podcast. With that being said, I am about to interview De Trinata, and hopefully I said it right. She is a up-and-coming rapper, by the way, of Baltimore, and has close to, if not over, 1 million followers online. And the great thing is she's unsigned, and she exemplifies, I believe, young entrepreneurial female empowerment. She's also managed by a female manager as well. So this was a cool podcast for me. What also makes it even more special is my daughter Felicia was with me while recording this, and she insisted, and I accepted, that she co-hosted this particular podcast. So this is special for many reasons. I just wanted to give a quick blurt before we get to the show. So take a listen. And I haven't done this yet, but just please, I'm asking you to subscribe on iTunes, Google Music, Stitcher, and so forth to the New Theory podcast. We really got something special here, and take a listen to this very special podcast. Hello, Tom Levecchia here with the New Theory podcast. Today we have some special guests. The first is we have a co-host today in the studio, Miss Felicia News. Felicia, say hello.
Hello.
And then we have one of the hottest up-and-coming rap sensations in the game. Her name is De Trinata, which...
Hey, Trinata.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, you said it with a little stank in it.
I'm Italian, so I kind of like put a little accentuate at certain parts. Hopefully I got it right. So she's calling us in from Baltimore, and she is I'm going to label her, if this is okay. I want to label her the hottest artist you may not have heard of, because a lot of people have heard of her, which she has north of 750,000 followers online.
Yeah, makes sense. Accumulated, yeah.
Well over 1 million views on YouTube. One video alone being 800,000. So De Trinata, welcome to the New Theory podcast. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
I am well. Okay, so let's jump into it. Give us your formative years. Where did you grow up? I believe it was Baltimore. Where did you grow up? And why did you get into rap, or why did you get into music?
Yeah, grew up in Baltimore, and I got into music because I used to get bullied at school, and I used to be a real violent person. I used to fight people, just used to let out my emotions in the wrong way. So once I found poetry, I started writing poetry. But after a while, I wanted to be more vocal with how I express my emotion, and then it turned into rap. Wow.
So you young lady, you were having some challenges at school, so you found a way to express yourself. So at the time, who were some of those influencers?
At the time, I didn't really have anybody who influenced me. It was just basically at school, I was looked at as a person that nobody was cool with for whatever reason, and nobody really talked to me. It was like people talked to me, talked about me because they thought I was like a boy. They thought I dressed like a boy. They thought I sounded like I was manly. I wasn't dressed how the other girls dressed, so everybody thought I was the outcast. Everybody and everybody just steered away from me.
Okay, so all right, so that I'm assuming not only helped you find an outlet, but it kind of fueled your desire to succeed.
Right.
Okay, so why rap? Why not R&B? Why not gospel? Why not rock? Why not punk? Why rap? And how did you develop your skills?
Well, I can't do rock because they scream and my voice cracks a lot. I can't do gospel or R&B because I'm not really that much of a good singer. You feel me? Rap was just really the way to go. When my parents actually collected CDs like Tupac, Rocky, Tang, all those people, and I would listen. It was like I really bonded with form of music because that's what I do.
Well, I listen to some of your stuff and I love it, and I'm a fan already prior to even having you come on. And I'm a bigger fan because I love how you're overcoming some challenges and struggles. So with that said, I kind of got a older school rap feel. So I see that kind of influence versus like the newer school, like the new school is a little bit more caustic. However, a little bit more southern to me, a little bit more southern Atlanta than maybe New York. Would that be fair to say, or am I off on that?
Yeah, that actually does make sense because I actually, for the filming of the rap game, I spent 3 months in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta for 3 months, living there in a house for 3 months. And that was really a turning point in my career, being the fact that I was going to sit there for 3 whole months and get guided by Jermaine Dupri. It kind of like shifted my sound a little bit because Atlanta really is like the mecca of hip hop as of now. So seeing that, being around all those people, being around all those special guests that JD would bring around, it would kind of make me look at music a different way. And then going on the tour later that year, I was in Atlanta for another, 2 months? So being in Atlanta is really like my second, third home for real. So I actually got a lot of stuff and a lot of tips from Atlanta.
Okay, so you got that's a great start. Okay, so things are a little different now, and I say good and bad, right? And I had some other folks that are up-and-coming music artists such as yourself, and the good is the barriers are not where it used to be. If you wanted to get into the game, you had to sign with one of the big five. You had to get a big contract, and that was kind of the bad, right? Mm-hmm. The good, so the good meaning now you can if you can go on YouTube, if you can build a fan base, if you have talent, like it kind of cuts on a lot of barriers, which is good. But it's also bad news as well. Why? Because anybody who has a microphone, anybody who has SoundCloud, anybody who has YouTube becomes a rapper or whatever they are, right? So that's which makes it more challenging. So my question is, you're doing really well. Your music's strong, your talent's strong, and where we sit now is you're approaching 1 million social media followers. Give me how you started out and what was that acceleration point?
Yeah, I really started gaming once I popped up on TV. But me, at this point, since there's a lot of rappers popping up out of nowhere, at this point, my fan base is so, cultured to me because starting out, I was real vocal with my fans, talking to my fans directly, direct messaging them, doing live, making sure I can talk to them, just being real, vulnerable with my fans, stuff rappers don't really do. And basically, my fans, I just continue communication. So it's really, other rappers don't really have a fan base that'll stand. Next year, I'm guaranteed to have somebody there that was there since I first popped up on TV.
Well, but what came first, chicken or the egg? In terms of, did you, from a talent perspective, did you kind of have a raw talent and then people kind of found you, or it's something you worked for privately and then came out already kind of hot?
Yeah, I always had it. Even when I first started rapping, I thought I sucked. Looking back on my other stuff, I thought I sucked, but everybody else was like, yo, you was dope since the beginning. So that really came along, and after a while, putting my music out on SoundCloud, just putting videos out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Jermaine Dupri and them looked at me. A lot of people was looking at me. My stuff was blowing up on YouTube, and that's how people really found me. So the talent came first.
Love it. Now, Felicia News has a question for you. Felicia News, what is your question? Well, why don't you ask her about her social media and how she uses Instagram? Why don't you ask her what do you want to ask her?
How many followers do you have on Instagram?
On Instagram, I think I have 718,000.
718,000. That's a very good number. How about? Felicia, what else? How about what else do you want to ask her?
How much followers do you have on Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook, I have over 20,000 likes. They're 20,000. Twitter, about 30,000.
Okay, now that you have a following, is it harder to kind of keep up with the grind, to keep up, creating content now that you have a bigger following?
No, not really, because the way that people do it, like a lot of rappers oversaturate their fans, they become bored faster. Me, I space things out. Like, let's say I put something out, it's real like mysterious. Don't nobody really know what it is. Everybody's thinking about it, talking about it. Oh, if she posts this, what's going to happen next? Or if I drop a song, she dropped this, so that else has to come in. Always, like, when I drop a song, I always drop, like, an object later or a visual to, like, so that just keeps people, it's just really the art of keeping people sitting and don't think.
Got it. All right, Felicia, your next question.
What is your favorite song that you...
Yeah, what's your favorite song that you do? Your own favorite song?
My favorite song that I ever made was probably Instagram comments. I call it Instagram comments. It's when I first popped up on TV and I saw the first episode of me and saw how they edited me to make me look. And then I looked on social media and saw how people were talking bad about me. And basically, it was like I was so overwhelmed at first because all the stuff that I was bullied about in school, it multiplied times like 1,000. So I don't speak the same things people saying in school that the same on social media, but now it's thousands of people saying it. So I made a song just telling people like, this is how it is. I don't really care. This is how I am. Can't nobody change me.
That's amazing. And like I said, I love your journey and how you express yourself through your art. Felicia, you have another question? One more for her?
Yeah, this question is not really on my mind. Daddy wrote it for me. It is, who is your favorite music artist?
Favorite artist was J.I.D. and Take Cobain, and they're so dope. I can't really pick between the two.
Okay, so I just want to ask one question. When you made your first song, did you think that people would like it or the opposite?
Yeah, when I made my first song and released it, at that point in time, like, I didn't really care for it if people liked it. I was just making music for me, and still now I'm making music for me. I just make music to make music, and if people like it, they like it. If they don't, oh well. But I wasn't really cautious on how people would take my music.
And how did you deal with the bullies?
What was that?
How did you mentioned being bullying. How did you deal with the bullies?
How did you deal with the bullies when you were at school?
Oh, okay. Yeah. The way I dealt with the bullies at school, it wasn't really good. Like, I would always get suspended. And that's what made me start writing. So in class, I would just really stay to myself, put my headphones in, and just do my work for real.
Awesome. Okay, now, so now that you have, if we talk about this, you have the following, you're starting to cook, you're signed. Who are you signed with? And tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah, I'm not signed with anybody.
Okay.
Like, I'm an independent artist. I'm not signed with anybody. I never was signed to anybody. As of now, I'm just working the independent route. And the only way that I really want to go about things is get a distribution deal, like stuff like that. Keep all my money.
So, okay, but that's the thing, right? You're already, on Spotify, you're already on Apple Music, you already are jamming, you're getting views. Do you really need to get signed?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, at this point, the amount of following I have, and I'm so confident in my craft, and I know how it sounds, like, I don't really need to be signed. Yeah, I can take the extra route and get, like, distribution help to get my stuff out on radios more, but to be signed and to get, I don't really think I need that.
Got it. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you doing in terms of touring? Because that's one of the things, right? Because you're hot on YouTube, you're hot on IG, but that's where kind of the support comes in. So what's your plan for touring? And if so, like, how are you gonna go about doing it? What cities you're gonna hit?
Yeah, I just came off 2 tours. The one tour with Jermaine Free, the Solo from the 17 tour. We toured 17 cities in 17 days. And then I came off my own tour, the Adolescent Swim tour. It was more of a meet and greet tour to get close with my fans. As of now, another tour is in the works. I'm working on a project and all of that, just getting stuff together and making sure everything's timed perfect.
What? You want to go next? Or you want me to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
So, do you have any followers on Pinterest or not?
Like, yeah, anything outside of Instagram. Like, what's your second strongest medium?
I didn't hear you.
What's your second strongest social medium outside of IG?
Social media. Oh, my second strongest social media will probably be YouTube. I'm close to 100,000 subscribers. So, yeah, next to Instagram, it's YouTube, and then after YouTube, Facebook, then after Facebook, Twitter.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How did you build it? Like, because I do digital marketing. Did you have a firm behind you? Did you kind of bootstrap it? Do you have a great managers with you now? How did you do it?
Yeah, it's just really me posting the way that I market myself and the way I present myself. A lot of people are too professional, like somewhat robotic, and that's why people don't really gravitate towards them. But the way that I carry myself on social media, it's me. Like, I don't fake anything. So fans can see the realness in me, and that just carries them to look at stuff and go, oh, what's Deishanada doing? Oh, what's Deishanada wearing? Oh, Deishanada dropped a new song. Let's look at it. And that's just really how I just carry myself.
I love it. I love it.
Do you have any followers on Pinterest?
Yeah. Do you do the visual mediums like a Pinterest and others?
Yeah, I don't have a Pinterest.
Believe it or not. Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, my manager has a Pinterest, but I don't believe I have a Pinterest.
Okay, believe it or not, some of the visual ones, like We Heart It, Pinterest, it sounds funny, but musicians also use them as well, and the reason why they do is because they might put some like great photos and great concepts, and they click through to their Spotify or their SoundCloud and so forth. So believe it or not, there is kind of a visual component. How are you monetizing it? I know your manager's there. There's probably a business end. How are you monetizing your platform?
Yeah, my manager monetizes everything.
Nice. Are you doing merch? Is it sponsorships? What do you got cooking now?
Yeah, I have merchandise out on Deishanada.com. I'm with DTLR, Downtown Locker Room. That's a clothing store. Yeah, I just have like a sponsorship with DTLR and merch that's out. Just ways to get income. I do Instagram promos. Just a lot of stuff to keep the income flowing.
I love it. I love it. Please, what else do you have to ask? If not, I could ask. It's your call.
So, wait. Do you do anything else besides Pinterest on the internet?
Well, she said it. She does YouTube. She does Instagram.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, but anything besides that?
Yeah, how about like an app? Like, do you think of maybe developing your own app?
Yeah.
Or your own podcast or something that, like, I don't know if you listen to Drink Champs, but Noriega always talks about how all these social mediums are great, but you're still on other mediums. Do you or your manager, because I can tell she's sharp and you're sharp, do you guys plan to do any direct with, Podcast Direct or your own app where you can reach your audiences by cutting out the middleman?
Yeah, I don't really think I would make my own podcast or app, but the way that I have my YouTube set up, I like do vlogs and stuff to just really somewhat like the podcast, kind of somewhat like a going on series, I guess. So yeah. Got
it. Makes perfect sense. All right. So the sound's not great, but you want to throw us a little freestyle? Just a little something. Come on.
All right. Who do you think she is? Ain't no way she wants sick. Get a high list so they look from your KO kid. No status to a Gucci. Wrist, what's that, Louis? Yeah, I love you, Poopy. I'm above you. I won't hug you. You gonna mess up my Gucci. I see his face with the face filler. Take the bag to the Fetty bigger. When I spoke, let Fetty get you. All stacks like a penny with you. Boom, bop, bop, bang, bang. Whole gang on the same thing. Got the cash on the main thing.
I love it. Off the cuff. You know, I know it's not the Breakfast Club. I know we're not the biggest medium yet, but the fact that we're working with you, early, we're really excited. So, okay, so you have a lot of stuff to share. How can people find you? Share the different social mediums and how they can find you.
People can find me on Instagram. People can find me on YouTube. People can find me on Facebook. Search me on Google. Deetranada. Deetranada.
That's so awesome, and I like the fact that my daughter's listening with us because she can see that women can do things with themselves, meaning in terms of when they have a dream, they can go after it. It seems you have a female manager, so there's I like the fact that she can look up to you and say, hey, you know what? If I want to do something, I can go ahead and do it. So Felicia, why don't you say some parting words?
Like you were in school and you found your thing to do. I'm in school and I do computer and I think I know what I'll be when I grow up, like you. Oh,
see, like you're ready. You can't even. You're gonna win Grammys. You're gonna do some great stuff. But the fact that you inspired, at the very least, an up-and-coming 8-year-old today, and a proud father, and I'm assuming your family's proud of you, and it was an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.